ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. Everyone listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network or watching us on the virtual talk show. Thank you for being here. My name is Robert Bannon. We're a place where artists talk about art. And you know, my fiance, my man, he was scrolling through the Instagram, and he's way tougher than me. Like, he is a tell it like it is, real deal. And he saw a post, and he sent me our next guest. And then I fell in the rabbit hole because, well, I don't have children on purpose. But I have 125 of them a day. I just love the real deal, and people, and moms need support, and moms need to know the truth. Meredith Masony, welcome to the show. Yes, on purpose, I don't have children.
An audible giggle came out, and that's the best way to explain why you don't have children on purpose. To the point.
Yes. Yeah. Aside from the fact that for me to have children, I'd have to have a surrogate or adopt children.
Right.
I would just like to state that those are options for people, and I'm happy for people. I chose not that for me.
Yes.
But you, Bam, are the mother to 3 children and dogs and podcasts and books and live events and social media posts and telling it just like it is. How did this happen?
Oh, geez. I've always had a problem keeping my mouth shut. So what is that thing that's been going around on the internet lately? Like, are you one of those kids that had talks too much on their report card? You know, and I mean, I have never been able to keep my mouth shut, nor have I been able to filter the information from the brain out of the mouth hole. So I've always been a smart aleck, so to speak. But, you know, I taught public school for 14 years. 14 years.
This is my 14th year.
There you go.
Okay, Meredith, you're sent to me from divine God. Do I get to leave after this year? Tell me yes.
I mean, so the rule at my house, and I don't know what the rule is at your house, but my husband said that I was allowed to leave when I had 6 months worth of income saved so that there was a safety net, because he said, you can't quit your job for a hobby.
Okay.
And that's a fair statement, because of course I was teaching while I was starting this, and I was like, I'm going to be a star. Don't censor my creativity. And he's like, you don't get to quit your job because you have a hobby. So, long story short, I ended up starting this actually because I had a really crazy health scare.
Yes.
And at 34, I thought I was gonna be pushing the daisies, so to speak. And I really wasn't thrilled with the things that I had done. Like, I mean, I was married the right guy, I think. I had 3 beautiful kids. I did, you know, some things, but it wasn't like if there was a bucket list, I hadn't checked off the bucket list. You know, there were so many things that I wanted to do. And when I got that opportunity, I was like, I'm going to go do them, because I'll be dead soon enough. I may as well do them now.
You know, I knew I liked you. I love your personality. You're very funny, and you're very talented, and your social media, and and we're going to have a fashion show of your merch, and we're going to talk about your books in a moment. But I want to say, in all seriousness, my album is called Unfinished Business because for 14 years I stopped singing. I was married to my high school sweetheart. Me and her broke up and got divorced. I came out very late in life. And this like rebirth over the past few years of like, life is short, and I don't want to just wish my life away for a summer vacation, for me to clock out of work, for me to the magical day when I get to say I don't have to do this anymore. We all have something we're scared to do and want to do, and we're afraid to do it. But then certain people take the step and actually are brave enough to do it. And look what you've created.
I appreciate that. Yes, I think you can use brave interchangeable with insane. You can use it interchangeably with illogical at times. it's scary. It's very scary to be like, I'm going to go and try this out and see if it fits, because the internet is it's such a double-edged sword, right? Because it can be just the meanest, nastiest, troll-filled, grossest place on the planet. And then you find this one corner where you're like, oh my gosh, people get it over here. Like, these are my friends, and luckily, some of us have found those little corners of the internet, and that's what I wake up and I live for. And that's the reason that I make the videos that I make, is because I want those people over on that corner of the internet to know they're not alone, whoever that is that shows up for it. Right. Because I never knew how lonely you could be in the middle of motherhood. And it's crazy because you're surrounded by people, but yet you can feel this ridiculous loneliness. So that's why I started doing it. I definitely had one of those quote unquote Oprah aha moments, of waking up and being like, man, if I really could be dead tomorrow, did I do the things? Did I check off the list? Because I'm a list person, and I did not check all the things off the list. And so this is my 10th year since starting this, and I'm getting ready to launch probably what I think is my biggest, most important to me passion project thing that's going to be coming out in March. Nobody knows about it yet. I've been working on this for 18 months. So it's nerve-wracking, because you come to these like crossroads and you're like, oh my gosh, is it going to work?
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for you. You said a small corner of the internet, over 4+ million followers and subscribers and all, whatever you call them out there, are watching what you say. You can go to _inappropriate on Instagram if you're listening to us, or you can go to your website, which the link is below us if you're listening to us on the podcast as well. You have really expanded and multifaceted. What I find from a lot of women, including my own mother and friends, is that people are not honest about motherhood. They tell you it's going to be the greatest thing in your life. You're going to fall in love and the world's going to be happy, and you're just going to give something to a little baby and joy will exude out of you and you'll be the best mother in the world. It's not that easy, and people feel super terrible when they don't feel that way. Please, but my dog is here. He already pooped on the floor and he's licking my leg as we speak.
Well, this is Kiki.
Hi, Kiki.
She's our brand new addition.
Oh,
And
she
she was in puppy jail, which is like this little playpen thing that I have next to me. Kiki is short for Kirkland because I'm obsessed with Costco, and it's also a Drake song. So my kids wanted to name her after a Drake song. So she's teething right now, and she's very needy. But what you were saying is absolutely true. Nobody prepares you. The books can't prepare you. Having conversations with others about motherhood can't prepare you, because you have this whole like vision about how you're going to do it. And you're going to be so much better than every other parent that's ever been. And then you have 3 kids with the stomach flu, and you want to pull all of your hair out and run away and change your name and get a nose job and, pretend that you don't know those people. And because it's insane. Like, everything about it is crazy.
Absolutely. Hey, this is Clarence, by the way.
Hello. I love when people name their pet. So I have Ruth over there. That's Ruth Bader Ginsburg is over there.
I'm obsessed.
I love it when people name their dogs or cats or whatever after like Todd, or you know what I mean? Like, it's the best thing ever. So I love Clarence. That's amazing.
And I love Ruth, and I love that you have a dog literally named after Costco Kirkland brand.
Brand, yes.
Yes. I'm obsessed with that. Yeah, To Be Cool is Drake's song, but it's also Kirkland, and that is amazing.
Oh, Kirkland first, but I agreed to shorten it to Kiki because the kids, they wanted to name her Aubrey Graham because that's Drake's real name. Yes. And I was like, I am not naming this dog after Drake. I don't care what you say. So we settled on Kiki, but she is full of badness, and she is full of literal piss and vinegar, and she is just trying to chew my whole house up. So we're learning about rules right now.
Well, then Kiki would get along with Clarence. So when you started this, do your kids and your husband think you're funny? Do they get a kick out of your presence?
No. No, my husband always tells people, like, if he's like, just this past weekend, we did I had a friend of mine who is a manager at a country club. He asked me if I would do a private show for this country club. And I was like, yeah, of course. I'm not touring right now, but I'm always down to tell jokes. And after the show, so it was local, so my husband was there. And after the show, everybody is coming up and, they're saying hi and shaking my hand. And my husband's like, I just want you guys to know she's the second funniest person in the house. And I'm just like, okay. So he thinks he's hilarious. He does not think that I'm as funny as apparently others think. But he is actually a very funny guy. And if you think I'm dry, he's Melba Toast. Like, he is the driest sense of humor, but that's what I also love about him, because I love a good dry Melba Toast sense of humor.
Me too. And that's what I like about your humor. It's deadpan. It is so serious. It's so funny. What do you think has resonated? What joke or what post like really ignited this? Like, what is the thing that everyone said, oh, this one is telling the truth? Is there something that you get the most conversations about? That
when people meet me, sometimes they will say the first thing I saw was the man cold. And that was probably, if I had to go in and look at videos and be like, which one was the most viral, it had to be that. Because at this point, I want to say that we must have crossed literally, it sounds ridiculous, but I think we've hit close to 1 billion views on that stupid video. Because at one point, several years ago, we were over 500 and something million. So we have to be like somewhere in that range, because it was insane. It was absolutely insane. It was being shown on every media network. And the best part about that video is I was literally shooting it with this terrible cold, because we were both sick at the same time, but my husband couldn't even help me record it because he was like, I can't get out of bed. And I was just like, I can't believe you're such a baby.
Yes. Women, they run the world. You all run the world. You rule the world, and we would all be at a dead standstill if it wasn't for the women in our lives and in the world. Gee, that's what's so great and so funny about it. Do you get feedback? Do you get hate? Do you get some nasty comments? Do you get people who tell you you're not a good mom and you're not a good wife and you all this BS baloney out there
my gosh. The best is, so all of my kids are teenagers now, right? Like I have a 18, will be 18 grown ASS man in March, as he tells me. My daughter is 15 this weekend, and my youngest is 13. So we have a house full of, teens, so to speak. And what my daughter's new favorite hobby is to go onto TikTok and read the comments underneath my videos to see all of the mean things people say about me. So then she can come home and be like, Linda J from St. Paul says you're a piece of blah, 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 because you're the worst mom ever, just so you know. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Because a lot of the videos are about her sass mouthing me and me telling a story about one of the kids. And she's like, just so you know, all of these other moms think you're terrible. And I'm like, well, that's great.
That is the funniest. That is the most unique circumstance and funniest thing ever. As a creator, as a comedian, as an artist, but also as someone on social media, do you chase the next big thing? Is it numbers? Are they a big thing? Do you look to beat what you've already done? Do you get nervous about, is this going to hit and land and go as viral as something else?
I used to. I was crazy about it. I would screenshot my platforms and be like, I didn't grow any in this past month. I only saw 500. I got to be honest, I don't anymore. I think because I've started doing so many other things and so many other projects And I know that the only thing that I can control is the content that I'm putting out to the people who want to watch it. So if I believe, and for me, the bottom line is, let's have a conversation. I'm here to have a conversation with you. I'll share the really raw, gross, ridiculous pieces and parts of my life with you, because I think that's how we all connect, is on those relatable points. And that's what I'm here to do. If you don't like it, watch the door when it hits you, where you've been split you or whatever. If you want to stay, but that's all I have the bandwidth for, because I want to put all of my energy that I can in having that conversation with the people that want to be there. And I can't, I just don't, I know that a lot of people think that they should always be chasing those numbers and things like that. But at some point you have to be like, okay, here are my people, here's my group. How do I just continue to make this better? How do I make this a more enjoyable experience for them? That's where I want to be, because these are the people who have supported me. These are the people that have been there for me.
That was a lesson in a way smaller version for me than you, but I had that with music, and I had that with this show. I used to chase, I want to get more people. Why doesn't this person come on? Why aren't these people watching? And then I thought, what about all the amazing people that are here with me every week? What about that lady who lives in Illinois, who never misses an episode, who streams my music every day? Why don't I do it for her? It's that, like, really that gratitude. Like, if I'm grateful for what I have, more people will come. I was an angry chasing number cruncher. It's
easy to be that, though, because it's so flashy everywhere, right? Like, turn around and every which way you have, and that's, I think, a big thing for me with having a teenage daughter, who is totally into, like, which one is the Jenner that has the makeup? Is it Kylie? Kylie. Yeah. So, like, she's like a big Kylie fan, and like this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, let me explain just a tiny thing to you. These women are business moguls. They are top-notch, big-time business moguls. I said, do I agree with all of the things that they're doing? Absolutely not. Do I agree with some of the way they portray an image and what, no, because I don't think normal people look like this. And I just want you to be aware and understand that this is more what normal people look like. It is not Kylie and Kim K. Please do not place the amount of value that you are as a teenager into what that looks like. And let's remember that they can be amazing business women who are, just making billions of dollars and doing all of these great things. And I applaud that. But you can do those in different ways. You don't have to fit that box, right? Like, I'm not making billions of dollars, obviously, but this box is still okay to fit in and check off too and look like. So I think for me, as just a mom of a young woman, I want you to know that there are other ways you can go about working your business, making your living, and it doesn't have to be this filtered, Photoshop perfect representation of something, because life is the messiest thing that we all do together. It's so messy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You can't say it better than that. I had my goddaughter told me once she wanted to be a social media influencer, and I wasn't trying to be mean, but I wanted people to know that a lot of it is not real. And what do you add to the landscape that's unique? I think what's great about you is you have a unique voice. You give your personal perspective. You're not trying to fit a trend or be whatever's the trending topic or whatever is the in thing. You just give your stories, your personality, your unique perspective, and then the audience followed. So kudos to being original.
I appreciate that. It's really because you're right. Like, I feel like each of us, we were all born with certain gifts and things that we can give to others. And I love how you said it. Like, what are you going to contribute to this landscape? Because we don't need another, get ready with me girl on the internet. Like, no offense to the get ready with me girls. Like, but when you're a mom who's looking at this from this perspective of, I have this 15-year-old daughter, like, I love the get ready with me girls that do murder podcasts. It's like, get ready. Let's talk about death. yeah, lock in. Like, I love that. Like, what is your spin? Like, you're right. You're 100% right. Like, what is your spin? Like, give me something when we're getting ready. Don't just, and I know some people love makeup or this or that. And like, they're like, because it is an art. I have seen some of the craziest stuff online on TikTok and whatever. But don't forget your flair. What is it? How many pieces of flair? That dates me, if you know that movie, Office Space.
Yes.
But like, how many pieces of flair do you have? Like, put your flair out there. Be whatever you're going to be, but make your piece of the landscape unique. That's what's important.
Absolutely. It took me way too long to learn that in my life.
Okay, it might get loud for a second because my husband just pulled in and I don't want the dogs will start barking.
Don't worry. Follow, if you're following, and that's inappropriate, that's _inappropriate, meredithmasony.com. When we and hello to the dry husband, who's the funny one in the house. We love it.
Yes, he's coming in somewhere.
There's 2 books that you've had out. You've had Scoop the Poop.
Yes.
Your Battles, which that looks like a day in my life with my dog. And Pick Your Battles seems to be the mantra of every single married or successful relationship in the entire world.
Yep.
And then Ask Me What's for Dinner one more time. Inappropriate thoughts on motherhood. What was it like to be an author? How did you like writing books?
I'm sure I have a few more in me. That's what she said. But it's really the way I write books is like, think of it as like chapter books for moms. Cause you teach, what did you say? 5th grade?
Great.
So yeah, it's like chapter books, like they're little bite-sized nuggets inside. This is literally, when I write a book, you can pick it up and in one spot turn to a page and be like, okay, that was great. Put it down. And then if you don't come back for 2 months, you're not missing anything, right? Like, this isn't some novel where you're like, you must start on page 1 and you must go through, because I'm just telling stories. I just feel like some of the stories that I have are worth retelling, because my mantra has always been, your story isn't for you, it's for someone else. So for me, this, yes, this is my story, but it's meant to be shared for whatever reason, because somebody might be struggling and somebody might need to hear that story. And I think that's true for literally every person on the planet.
So good. So the books are wherever books are sold. You can find them. You can go to social media and the websites and all those things, but you can find it wherever you get books. And then you have the coolest merch. Like, you have really fun merchandise.
I love making t-shirts. T-shirts are fun. It's an easy way for your face to match your wardrobe. So I just feel like there's always a good way to have, just something fun. Because I'm very, I think as a group, we're very decision fatigued. You know what I mean? Like, whether you're a teacher or whatever it is that you're doing work-wise, like, thank the Lord for our service professionals, right? People that are out there literally in the trenches helping us get through. Decision fatigue is real. And so I wake up in the morning and I just want to put on a t-shirt and a pair of, yoga pants or sweatpants or, jeans if it's a special occasion. And I just want to have a t-shirt on. I want to be comfortable. I want my sneaks, and I just love to make merch. It's just been a thing we started many years ago, and I just fell in love with it.
Well, it's good. I mean, we just showed the Struggle Bus shirt, or the I'm Already Tired Tomorrow. They have like the funny shirts with the donkeys and the rainbows and the whole bangity bang. And there's mugs and there's sweatshirts and there's tank tops and there's a whole litany of fashion. You could literally start a TikTok page where you just buy and try on a Meredith ensemble every single day. That's turn in the space. That's it.
That, maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing on TikTok, and I just haven't figured it out yet. Because TikTok, I just don't get TikTok. I have been trying and trying, but it's just, I don't know if I'm not young enough or what it is, but
I don't want to dance. I don't want to lip sync to lines in a movie, or I don't want to ask the Dunkin' Donuts person to do a viral video dance with me. I don't want to ask you what you do for a living. I love these people, but they're someone's entertained.
Yeah, I'm not good at those things either. Nobody has actually ever asked me to dance, and I've had people ask me to stop singing. So,
Meredith, when I see you in person somewhere, at one of your shows or an event, I'm going to ask you to dance.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited.
I want to give a shout. Listen, my Darius is watching sometimes, and we go back and forth. He's been a foster dad. He talks about whenever he brings this up to me, if he has a weak moment, I'm going to reach out to you and say, remember what I said? We chose no kids.
Yes. Well, I really think that is admirable. If you know that is not something that you want to do, I think it is not, is it okay? It is the right choice for you. And that's what you should be doing. Right. Like, I don't understand when people are like, they poo-poo it. Like, why would you poo-poo it? Like everybody is not the same. And of course you shouldn't bring children into a relationship if that's not what you 100% want to do.
Well, I think 15 years ago, I would have done it. I think a newborn baby in 40 sounds hard. Just sounds.
Oh gosh. I do know a few people who, quote unquote, started over with maybe a little oopsie daisy or whatever. And I think like last night, this puppy kept us up at 2:30 in the morning for like over an hour and a half. And we were barely functioning this morning. And I'm 43, my husband's 44. And I couldn't imagine a brand new baby feeding and changing and burping and crying all night long. And then you got to go into the toddler stage and phase again. And, I'm good with teenagers. I really am. We have the same mentality at times, and we just scream at each other and it all works out.
I think that's See, that sounds good. You want to send me your 14-year-old anytime, they can always come spend a weekend with me.
Great.
That's a deal.
They're just a lot. No matter what age or stage or phase, they're a lot. But, when you get past it, I think it is a little bit daunting to maybe go back to it.
I can imagine. Well, for moms everywhere, including my mom, who worked her tail off raising me and my brother and is still working her tail off, and we're in our 40s, to all the moms and dads and the people out there, aunts, uncles, foster parents, adopted parents, everyone, grandparents who raise their children. I know that they get a big kick out of you. And I know if you haven't followed, make sure you follow, go to the website, get your merch, and look for the books. And whatever magical secret project is coming, we need to be on top of it so we see it in March or April when it's debuted. And we know that you have a lot more fun conversation and chit chat, and your comedy lets us see that we're not alone. So that's the greatest gift. So thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you so much for having me on. This was so much fun. And I will definitely email you and send you what my little special surprise is when it is ready.
Oh, and we'll talk about it again. We will share it here on this show because we'll be waiting.
Okay, awesome.